There's a kind of work happening in your home right now that doesn't show up on any timesheet. It doesn't get invoiced. It doesn't appear in your bank account at the end of the month. But it's running constantly, like a background application you never close. You're mediating a sibling conflict while mentally planning dinner. You're remembering that your daughter needs new shoes while responding to a text from your partner. You're noticing your son's mood shift and adjusting your tone accordingly. You're tracking emotional weather patterns across your entire household, and you're doing it without anyone asking you to. This is emotional labor, and for decades, we've been told it's just part of being a good mother. Part of caring, part of love. But here's what nobody mentions. That same skill set, that same capacity to read rooms and manage emotions and anticipate needs, is exactly what companies pay consultants 6 figures to do. The difference is location. When you do it at home, it's invisible. When someone does it in a boardroom, it's called stakeholder management. When you do it with your kids, it's expected. When someone does it with a team, it's leadership. The skill is identical, the recognition is not, but something is shifting, because the same mothers who've been doing this work for free are starting to realize they've been building an economic asset all along. They're beginning to see that emotional intelligence isn't just a soft skill. It's infrastructure, and infrastructure creates value. Let me show you what I mean. There's a mother in Wisconsin who spent 15 years managing playdates, school committees, and neighborhood dynamics. She knew how to de-escalate conflict. She knew how to make people feel heard. She knew how to facilitate conversations where everyone left feeling valued. One day, she looked at that skill set and asked a different question. What if I used this somewhere else? She started offering conflict resolution coaching for small business owners. Partnerships that were falling apart. Teams that couldn't communicate. Family businesses where siblings weren't speaking. Her rate is $300 an hour, and she's booked 4 months out. Because what she built in her living room, she can now deploy everywhere. The skill transferred, the value didn't disappear. It just finally became visible. Here's the part that matters. She didn't go back to school. She didn't get certified. She didn't spend years in corporate training programs. She simply recognized that what she'd been doing for free had market value, and she built a structure around it. This is happening everywhere now. Mothers who've been managing household logistics are becoming project managers for remote teams. Mothers who've been navigating school systems and advocating for their kids are becoming educational consultants. Mothers who've been coordinating care for aging parents are becoming elder care strategists. The emotional labor doesn't stop, but it starts compounding. Because once you see it as a skill, you can systematize it, you can teach it, you can sell it, you can build equity from it, and that changes everything. Because for the first time, the work you've been doing in the shadows starts generating returns. Not someday, not after the kids grow up, now, from your kitchen table. On your timeline. Let's be clear about what emotional labor actually includes. It's remembering birthdays. It's noticing when someone's struggling before they say anything. It's managing the mental load of a household so nothing falls through the cracks. It's being the one who asks how everyone's feeling. It's anticipating needs before they become crises. In a corporate context, that's called customer success, user experience, stakeholder engagement, community management, human resources. These are entire departments, entire careers, built on the same foundation, being operating from all along. So why does it feel so different at home? Because we've been taught to see care separate from commerce. We've been told that if you monetize emotional intelligence, it stops being authentic. That real care doesn't ask for compensation. But that's a story designed to keep your labor free. The truth is, care and commerce have always coexisted. Therapists care and charge. Coaches care and charge. Teachers care and get paid. The idea that mothers should be the exception was never about protecting authenticity. It was about protecting a system that benefits from your unpaid work. But here's the economic reality. Emotional labor is a renewable resource. The more you use it, the better you get. Every hard conversation you navigate at home makes you more skilled. Every meltdown you de-escalate builds your capacity. Every relationship you nurture adds to your expertise. And unlike physical labor, emotional labor scales. You can teach one person conflict resolution, or you can teach 500. You can coach one entrepreneur through a partnership dispute, or you can create a framework and sell it as a digital course. The effort compounds, the income multiplies. This is where the home-centered economy becomes structurally different from traditional work. You're not trading time for money in a linear way. You're taking skills you've already built and finding leverage points. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from 15 years of unpaid mastery. Let me give you a framework. Think about the emotional labor you do most often. Is it mediating conflict? Is it creating emotional safety? Is it helping people feel seen? Is it organizing chaos into calm? Is it translating complex emotions into clear language? Now ask yourself, who else needs that? Because I promise you, someone does. And they're willing to pay for it, not because they're desperate, but because what you do well is genuinely hard to find. If you're exceptional at creating calming chaos, there are overwhelmed entrepreneurs who need that. If you're brilliant at mediating conflict, there are business partnerships on the edge of collapse who need that. If you're skilled at translating emotions, there are leaders who can't connect with their teams who need that. Your living room has been your training ground. Now it can become your launch pad, not by abandoning your family, not by working 60-hour weeks, but by recognizing that the skill you've been building has currency. And you get to decide where to spend it. Here's the tactical part. Start with one platform. If you're a natural teacher, try Teachable or Kajabi for digital courses. If you're better one-on-one, use Calendly and build a coaching practice. If you love community, create a Circle or Mighty Networks membership. The infrastructure already exists. You don't need to build it. You just need to step into it. With the same emotional intelligence you use to run your household, except this time, it generates income. Because emotional labor isn't just caregiving. It's economic power that hasn't been named yet. And the mothers who see it first are the ones building the next wave of home-centered wealth. Not from venture capital, not from corporate ladders, from living rooms, from kitchen tables, from the invisible work that always mattered, finally becoming visible. This is your asset. You've been building it all along. Now it's time to let it build for you. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial, legal, or professional advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making business or financial decisions.